Okay, welcome to the National Entrepreneurs Association Lunch and Learn on Networking Virtually. I'm Dr. Zelania Allen, and I will be your host today. I am president of the National Entrepreneurs Association, where we support entrepreneurs through quality networking events and educational training programs. The ability to network without leaving your home or your office has become really important and popular, especially with everything that's going on in our world today. And thanks to technology, this is something that we can easily achieve. So today we have 4 successful business owners and NEA members who have agreed to come on today and talk to us about some of the ways that they have been networking virtually. So first we have Colette Hughes, owner broker of Virtual Real Estate Services. We have Michelle Curley, founder of Big Easy Bookkeeping. We have Jerry Scribble, who is the COO of Mastermind Consulting Network. And finally, we have Don Wilson, CEO of Civil Benefits Group. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. I'm looking forward to an outstanding call because to me, for an entrepreneur, networking is huge. It's vitally important to the success of your business. And we'll get into some of the details in just a moment. But first, I want to welcome our guests to the call. And I'm really excited to announce that we just launched our Phoenix chapter. So we have members in Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Washington, D.C., and now Phoenix. So we're looking forward to the time when we can actually meet live in person, but until then, virtual networking will do. Okay, so next, let me just bring up my PowerPoint. Okay, let me just bring up the PowerPoint and share with everyone our agenda for today. So first, we're going to have the panelists just introduce themselves and give us a quick 2-minute introduction. And then we'll talk about why networking is so important for entrepreneurs. And then we'll give out some tips that can help you network more effectively. And then we're going to do a quick exercise. We'll show you how to put together a 30-second commercial that gets you results. And finally, there will be a Q&A, and you will be free to ask the panelists any questions that you might have. So let's get started with Colette. Colette, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Lunch and Learn virtual networking. I am Colette Hughes. I am the broker and owner of Virtual Real Estate Services, as I was introduced. I help buyers, I help sellers, I help them with the process of real estate services. The process can be a dream or the process can be a nightmare. I also have a team of realtors who can help with this process as well. They are rock stars, just like I am, and they help with any part of Michigan as far as selling real estate. They can help you with the purchase process, with selling a home, with leasing a home, commercial properties as well. I'm also on the board of this outstanding entrepreneur association, the National Entrepreneurs Association, in which we help with resources and help support your business. They help support my business. That's why I am so successful. I am a multi-million-dollar real estate brokerage. And also I am a Toastmaster, which helps with my confidence. It helps with my leadership skills and with my personal development. And so that's a little more about me, and I'll turn it back over to Dr. Allen.
Okay, next, let's hear from Michelle Curley.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm Michelle Carley from Big Easy Bookkeeping. I'm the founder. I love working with numbers, and I know a lot of people don't, and that's why I'm still in business after all these years. But I like to help people with their business records. I like to design bookkeeping software. I'm actually very, very content and happy working with numbers. I mean, when I think back of my earliest days as a kid, I mean, I remember being in a sandbox with all this sand, making like sandcastles. And to me, I'm working with all these numbers. It's kind of like there's a connection there where it's just fun for me. I mean, anyways, thanks for letting me be on here. And I appreciate that, Zelania. Yeah. So.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Next, let's go to Don Wilson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. Great to talk to people these days, and the opportunity I can get to have good conversations with folks outside of my home and outside of my small network. It's a great, great thing. So I'm glad to just be able to share. So I run a general agency. We're in the employee-employer benefits space. Typically, what we're interested in doing is working with groups, individuals, and associations to place benefits. So from obviously life insurance, disability insurance, health insurance, 401k, the entire benefit suite is what we do. My particular focus is groups and associations. So we have some traditional organizations, nursing homes, plants, and so forth. We do their benefits package, but my passion has become the 1099 workspace, the independent entrepreneur workspace. My passion has become getting quality group benefits for people who work for themselves or who have started their own businesses. And a lot of people don't understand that you can be an entrepreneur and you can have a group health insurance, you can have group life, you can have group disability, you can have 401k and so forth. All of the great benefits that you had when you were W-2, when you were working for the man, you can now still own those same benefits and get those same advantages if you know the right people and network in the right places. And my argument is we are the right place and I'm the right person.
Awesome. Thank you, Don. And finally, we have Jerry Scribble.
Hello, everybody. I'm really pleased to be with you today. I've worked with Zelania for quite a few years. I remember when the National Entrepreneurs Association was a dream, and it's so exciting to see it grow into the organization it is today. My company is Mastermind Consulting Network. We're a consortium of independent consultants. We serve entrepreneurs and small businesses, and we provide services to businesses, nonprofits, and consultants. We assist people with engineering, marketing, planning, problem solving, and pricing, and pretty much anything else that they might want. And we're using the internet a lot. We've been doing it for many years because our people were scattered over a big area. But of course, with the latest problems, it's just really gotten into being used with clients and prospects. And so we use it for consulting, we do mentoring, we do training, we do advertising, we do prospecting. We have auto response capability, and we have a newsletter for our contacts. We offer software as a service for pricing, and we use multiple Google Plus sites to promote our business on the internet. And that works pretty well for initial contact. And I'm kind of interested in talking to everyone about how to use the internet and virtual contact in your business.
All right, wonderful. So just to let everyone know, if you have a question, feel free to go ahead and type that in the chat room. You can also type your questions at the bottom of your screen under, click on Q&A. And then also I want to let you know that towards the end of the call, if you would like to come on and practice your 30-second commercial with us, we will allow you to do that. We'll patch you in. And I would encourage you to do that. You know, let us see your face and let us talk to you and connect with you because this is all about networking. Okay, so my first question is, what is virtual networking? Who would like to take that? How about Don? What does virtual networking mean to you?
I think it basically is the same as networking, period, except you're using the computer, you're using social media, you're using your phone, you're using some type of, typically a screen or an electronic device to interface. And but you're doing the same things that you were doing before. My business has relied on networking, relationships, and referrals, and we relied probably more heavily on it than I wish we had. But you know, we began to make a decent transition into more virtual networking, into more virtual outreach and so forth. But I mean, quite frankly, you know, it's one of those things that you can't deny. It's going to be, things are never going to be, in my opinion, exactly like they were. So you've either got to get on board with this virtual networking, virtual existence piece, or you may be left behind.
Absolutely. So I have a definition of virtual networking, just to be clear, because virtual networking means something different in the technology space. So here we're talking about networking that takes place over the internet without a face-to-face interaction. The networking could take place via social media platforms, video conferencing like we're doing now, email, or text messages. So my next question for you guys is, how have you been networking during this stay-at-home order? What are some of the things that you've been doing? And I'll go to Colette because I know you've been doing a lot of virtual networking.
Yes, I have. I've been, for the most part, been using Zoom. So I've been Zooming all over the world.
Wonderful.
I've used like a lot of the different platforms, but for the most part, I've Zoomed to Africa, 11 countries in Africa with my Toastmaster family groups. And I would have never met different Toastmasters if it wasn't for the pandemic happening and if it wasn't for the Zoom platform. So I've met so many different people. I've been on a meeting with 500 people with the Zoom platform. And then I've Zoomed everywhere. I think I'm going to Europe next because it's so inexpensive. It's so inexpensive to use the virtual platform in order to meet and connect with so many different people. And I also do a happy, what is called Happy Networking Project on Fridays, where we meet with a lot of different business people all over the world. And it's just been amazing. So Toastmasters and also the National Entrepreneurs Association has just been phenomenal with the different meetings and webinars that we've been having to connect with us. So that's what I've been doing. I've been Zooming all over the world.
Absolutely. And we've been doing a Zoom lunch and learn every week for the month of June so that our members can continue growing their business. Michelle, what have you tried while we've been shut in?
Yeah, you know what I've noticed? You had mentioned texting, and surprisingly, I've been texting with my neighbors and just, you know, trying to keep in contact with them through this COVID-19 epidemic. And I just recently got a referral. You know, people like to know who they're talking to, and they like to know what you do. And once they get this warm, fuzzy feeling about you, it seems like they're very open to referring. Like one of my neighbors referred me to a hair salon who needs a bookkeeper. So it's you find these people in the strangest places. I mean, I would never thought my neighbors would refer someone, but they did. So it doesn't matter, you know, whether we're using texting or Zooming or whatever. It's I think once people know your character, they can trust you, and then they can start referring. So I think that's part of it.
Absolutely. And that's the next thing that I'd like you guys to talk about, how important networking is for entrepreneurs. And to me, it's huge. I can't say enough how important it is. For example, we just got a corporate sponsorship because of someone that I met at one of our networking events. So you can get a lot of business from it. And I think people don't realize sometimes as entrepreneurs the importance of building those relationships. Don, can you talk a little bit about how networking has helped you grow your business?
I think, something we've always heard is not what you know, it's who you know. And
Yeah.
there's just truth to that. And I've been blessed with opportunity because I happen to know someone who knew someone, or my name was dropped in a particular circle. And that's just networking. And you really can't do without it. And it is something though that has to be a routine. I'm in sales, and in order to close, you have to have a funnel of people to talk to. And there's a lot of ways you can get people in that funnel, but I think the best way to get people in that funnel is with networking and people who will speak favorably about you, people who will drop opportunities in your lap. And I think that's it's just super important. Like you said, it's huge, and it's something that we have to focus on. It's easy to forget about it. It is, because sometimes we get trapped in our comfort zones, and we get trapped in the things that we like to do. Like in my position, we like to do business. We like to close. We like to do calculations, illustrations, and solve problems for clients and so forth. I really like getting into that piece of it. But if I don't get into the networking piece of it, I don't get to do the piece that I really like. So I have to make sure that I am focusing on the networking.
All right, awesome. Jerry, what would you like to add to that?
I think the first thing a person wants to know when they're thinking about whether they want to do business with you is, what's in it for me? So if you meet someone and the first thing you do is you try giving them a hard sell, that is not going to be very productive. What you really need to do is meet them, learn about them, find out what they need, see if the things they need are things you might be able to help them with. If so, proceed with giving them some information about how you think you could help them. So the whole problem with networking is people I meet, they go and they meet with you, and their whole issue is, what are you going to buy for me? How soon? How much? Wait a minute, I don't even know you. I have no idea whether I want anything that you're selling. So why are you trying to do a trial close way before you should? So I think it's no different if you're doing it virtually. There's some advantages to it and there's some disadvantages to it. We can talk about that. But the basic caveat is get to know them, find out what they need and how life is for them. And then maybe you'll find out that you could help them with something, or maybe not. Maybe you'll find out, I really can't do anything for this person, but I'd like to tell them a little bit about me. Maybe they know somebody that I could help. And
well, you said something that was really important, Jerry, and I don't want to lose that point. So let's back up a little bit. So this is why I brought up the slide, 5 networking do's and don'ts. You talked about bringing something to the table, basically, and that's number 1 on our do's and don'ts list. So when you're networking, you're going to be more effective if the person that you're talking to sees value in something that you're bringing to the table versus you focusing just on the ask. And that's what you just mentioned, Jerry.
Yep.
Because we want to create win-win scenarios. If you're a person who has a large network or is in a position of power, say you do sponsorships or you hire speakers, you're constantly getting asked for things by people that you're networking with. And it can be draining, but I think you will find that you have more success if you're coming to the table with something of value, or you're coming to the table saying, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Or finding out what that person's goals and objectives are and helping them achieve their goals. And then they'll be more willing to help you in return. Right?
That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
What's
You know,
your
I mentioned
experience with
something
that,
about
Michelle?
that. Yeah, I was going to mention, you know, it's a great point that if what you have to sell someone isn't a good fit for them, it's really wise to help them find the solution, find the right product for them that's a better fit. You know, I think of our business as being like a big quilt, and we need all these pieces to make this quilt, you know, so we need maybe a lawyer, an accountant, whatever we need, and you might not have the piece for that quilt for them, but someone else does, you know, and why not help them? And if you help them, it comes back to us in different ways. We just don't see it as a sale or something, you know, it comes back to us. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And feel free to jump in. Colette, I see
Yes.
you raising your hand.
Yes, I want to add to that. And Michelle used the analogy of a quilt. And so you have to like, know, and trust the people that you are working with. So if you meet someone for the first time, you might not, you have to feel comfortable with that person if you want to use their services or if you want them to use your services. I know that everyone doesn't want to buy a house, but if I talk to them, meet them, they learn to like me, learn to trust me, then they may refer someone else to me on down the line. They may have a family member, they may have a friend that they can refer to me to buy a house or to lease a business or whatever it is that they want to do. So it's important to like, know, and trust who you're working with. And so take that time to nurture that relationship. Networking is all about the relationships. And so take time to nurture that relationship and learn to like, know, and trust who you're working with.
Absolutely. We talk about that all the time at NEA. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. In
Yes.
order to get there, you have to build that relationship.
Yes.
I think I saw Jerry's hand, or was that Don?
Yeah, it was me. Yeah, in our business, we'll talk to people and often they do need something, and often they need it badly. And it's not something that we could sell them. But where we help them is we know thousands of people, not just locally, but worldwide. And often we'll be able to connect them with somebody that can help them. And that's a value because if they get to know us and they trust us, as Colette pointed out, they want to follow up with this person that we recommend and think that there's a pretty good chance that that person could do what they need. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's how it works.
Awesome. So let's just go through these do's and don'ts really quickly. Number 2, have a business card. Lately, I've been at events and people say, well, I don't have a business card. And I've actually heard a philosophy that just collect cards, don't give them out, because then you control the relationship. Do you guys agree with that? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's kind of discourteous. If I give you a business card, I kind of expect one, you know, and if you don't have one, okay, I get it. But then nowadays, you know, what I would do is maybe take a selfie and, you know, record that information so that when I call you, I know what we talked about, what you look like, and just a reason to follow up if I truly want to follow up. I've been to networking events where it's just it's super social and everybody's shoving business cards in everybody's hands, and it's kind of like Jerry said, you know, nobody's trying to solve anybody's problems. It's just people asking for things, you know, trying to sell, not recognizing that this is really just about a touch. In the sales process. This is a touch. And it may
Absolutely.
take a few more touches. Most sales is 10, 12 touches these days. So, that's really what it's about. It's just a touch. So if I give you an opportunity to touch me, giving you my business card or my contact information or a commitment to follow up, then I kind of would like to be able to touch you back. I mean, my feelings aren't hurt if you don't, but I just think maybe it's a two-way street.
Okay, and when we talk about touches, we're talking about the number of times you come into contact with an individual. And I've heard it said it takes 5 to 7. I'm sure it varies depending on industry, but you certainly don't want to start trying to sell on that first contact. Maybe you meet them at a networking event and then you follow up through email or a phone call. You guys get together for lunch. But the idea is to continue to build that relationship. And it doesn't have to take a long time. Jerry.
The other thing is there's people like me that will meet you and the odds are I won't remember your name, let alone how to get in touch with you. But if you give me a business card, I probably remember I talked to you, and I'll look through the cards I collected, and oh yeah, that's Zelania. I'd like to talk some more with her, and oh yeah, I got her phone number. I'll give her a call. So it's a bit of a courtesy to the person you're meeting, and saying you don't have to remember how to spell my name. You don't have to memorize my phone number. I'll give you all the information you need in the event that you might want to follow up. So I think they're a good idea.
Okay, yes, Colette.
Yes, okay. We're living in a virtual world right now. And if you get a business card or you have a business card from someone, or right now we're doing virtual meetings, people can always do a one-on-one meeting with you virtually. Right now, I am meeting clients online or by telephone call because I get referrals from different people. But I often let them know that, okay, if you need to speak with me or you need to see who I am, we can do a FaceTime meeting, or we can do Google Duo, or we can do a Zoom meeting one-on-one, so that we can do a one-on-one meeting with each other just to connect and see who you're talking to. Because sometimes if you're talking to each other, what if you're not a good connection? And then you can move on, to someone else. Or what if you can't help that particular person? So you can get a business card, but you can also meet one-on-one. You don't have to, once we start back meeting in person, of course, we can meet and have coffee with each other. But for this time right now, during this virtual meeting, we can meet online.
Well, I think the key point here is you don't want to leave people wondering how to get in touch with you, because you never know when they may have an opportunity that is perfect for you. And of course, today we're talking about virtual networking. So you can have an electronic business card. And I just happened to pull up Dawn's business card here, and I have the contact information for Jim Jasek, because he specializes in making these photo business cards. He'll take your business card and attach your photo to the top, and now you can text that or you can email that to anybody. So feel free to reach out to Jim. Next, we have make networking a part of your marketing plan. So you can incorporate networking in your schedule. Maybe you say, I'm going to go out once a week, or I'm going to Zoom once a week or once a month, versus having it be an afterthought. I've heard people say, well, I'll come to the meeting or attend the meeting if I don't have anything else to do. What are your thoughts on how you incorporate a networking strategy into your business plan?
I think that, it's about prospecting, it's about marketing, it's about making sure that you network, and you just have to focus on it. For me, I'll speak for myself again. I have to focus on it because, again, sometimes we have parts of our business that we prefer to do, and networking may not be a part of it. So, it's a discipline, and it just has to be, because I get away from it. I'll tell you the truth. I have some set things that I do, and I have some set things that I know how I structure my day and my week is I try to prioritize the activities that we call green activities. The green activities are things that make me money. So, I have to prioritize those things. And networking is not green. It's not directly green. Completing, an application is green. Networking leads to that, but, it just is not. So it tends to fall, for me, sometimes it falls lower down on the priority list than it should. Now, I have some built-in things that I do. I have membership in some different associations, groups, clubs, and so forth. So we have meetings, we have check-ins, we have opportunities to touch. So that's networking. But I will admit that I need to do more. I need to be broader about it. I have 34 reps in my hierarchy. I have 34 agents who work on my team, Michigan, Ohio, Georgia, and California. And these reps are growing and developing. And I need to do more to work with them and to help them network and find myself in their space networking with them, because I found in my career that every time I endeavor to help someone and to help someone else grow, I get paid back many times. So, and I think that's an excellent way to network as well, is helping others network and helping others grow and develop their businesses.
Absolutely, being seen as a resource. And so that goes back to number one, what value do you bring to the table? So just quickly, number 4 is be a leader. I think sometimes we fall back and wait for the other person to reach out to us or suggest how we're going to partner or collaborate. So take the initiative. And then finally, follow up and keep in touch. So often people go to events, collect business cards, and then they never reach back out. So those are our 5 do's and don'ts. Obviously, there's so much more. What I want to get from you guys now, though, is what would you say to someone who does not like networking, to Don's point? Maybe it's because they're shy, or maybe it's because they feel like their time could be better served at the office. What advice would you give to someone who just doesn't like to network? Colette, yes, go ahead.
I know people who don't like to network. I was one of those who didn't like to network. I was the shyest person that was in Michigan. I'm pretty sure there was a billboard up about me being the shyest person in Michigan. So what I had to do, I went to Toastmasters so that I can gain confidence, so that I can know how to speak in public, so that I can be a public speaker or whatever I needed to do. So sometimes it takes personal development. And then if you're running a business, you can't be a secret. So you don't want your business to be a secret. So you have to network unless you have a certain amount of money or you have a limited amount of money and that's all you want. Otherwise, you have to be a person that is outstanding. You have to, I have a jacket with all of my business information on the back of it. And so when I go to the bank or when I go to the grocery store, or when I go to the gas station, all my information is on the back because I don't want my business to be a secret. So sometimes you can network quietly, or sometimes you can network out loud. You can get on all the social media sites and network and push your business, but you don't want to do it too much so that it's just overwhelming to everyone. But you do want to get out there and make sure that you are relevant and make sure that people know who you are, because you want your business to be outstanding.
Yeah, I think number 1 is realizing the value of networking and understanding how it can help your business grow. And even if you feel like I don't want to take on more clients, you can just learn so much from talking to other people and connecting with other people. So I would suggest get a plan and take baby steps. Maybe you say, well, I'm going to post on social media once a week. If it's a live event, maybe you take someone with you. And then I think building your confidence is something that we all need to do. So standing in the mirror, saying those affirmations, visualizing yourself at a networking event and having the success that you want. But you have to build that confidence and recognize the importance that it is for entrepreneurs in order to grow your business. And pretty soon, like Colette, you'll grow to like it. It actually can be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yes, Jerry.
Yeah, I would suggest that someone that hasn't died to do networking, you might join a networking group. There's a lot of them. The one I know of is the most is BNI. It's pretty much everywhere, and it's kind of expensive and it's very regimented, but it will force you to get out there regularly. It will teach you how to say what you need to say in 60 seconds and how to do longer presentations, 10 minutes or so. And it's like anything else. Somebody once told me, if you're afraid of public speaking, don't ever pass up an opportunity to do it, because the more you do it, the easier it'll get. Same is true of networking. The more you put yourself out there and meet with people, you'll come to enjoy it. So I'm
All right,
like
well,
most of you.
I want us to have time to do the 30-second commercials. So let's get into that. If you're a guest on the call today and you would like to introduce yourself, raise your hand or let us know through the chat and we will patch you in. I see a hand already. Wonderful. Let me just go through this slide. It's 5 simple steps. Okay, 30-second commercial or elevator pitch. So it's called an elevator pitch because what if you're in an elevator and someone asks you, what do you do? Can you explain that really quickly in 30 seconds? And I'm sure we've all had the experience of being at a networking event and we ask someone, what do you do? And 5 minutes later, they're still explaining and maybe you still don't have a clear understanding of what they do. So here's a quick formula that you can use. Number 1, of course, you want to state your name, your title, the name of your organization. That's the easy part. Now, number 4, a description of your organization in 1 sentence. Can you describe your business in 1 sentence? And then finally, your ask. What is your goal? In 1 sentence. So just to give you an example, I will share with you my 30-second commercial. Hi, my name is Dr. Zelania Allen, President of the National Entrepreneurs Association, where we support entrepreneurs through quality networking events and training programs. My goal is to connect with entrepreneurs who are interested in learning more about how they can grow their business through membership with NEA. So that tells you everything that you need to know. I timed it and it's only 25 seconds. And it's something that any of us can do. So I will bring in the first, well, actually, do you guys have anything to add to that? Or would you like to share your 30-second commercial with the group? Yes, Colette.
Well, I just want to add, make sure that you know your audience, because every 30-second commercial may not pertain to that particular audience. So know who you're speaking to. If you're on an elevator, you're speaking to that individual. And if you're at some other event, you might be speaking to that particular audience. So just know your audience. I just wanted to add that.
Well, one of the things your 30-second commercial can do is qualify people, because once they have a clear understanding of what you do, they know immediately if there's a connection, if they can use your service or refer you.
Yes.
Okay. So how about, let's hear one of your commercials. Don, Jerry, Michelle, who would like to share? How about Don? While I bring in our guest who's going to share his commercial, let's hear yours.
So, you know, typically, as Colette kind of alluded to, you want to, in my experience, you want to kind of tailor it to you're talking to, just because my goal is always, the only way I get business is if I can resolve some problems or issues. A lot of people do what I do necessarily, but, you know, it's about whether or not I can help you identify and resolve a problem that you're dealing with. So I kind of want to know what's going on with you. But if I don't, like you said, it's a qualifying opportunity. So again, Don Wilson with Civil Benefits Group, my goal is to make sure that I can help individuals who work for themselves own quality benefits so that I can make sure that they can retire fortunately, and that they can go to the doctor when they need to, that they can get there. I use a corny pitch. I say people, I mean, it's corny, but it's just true. Just because you work for yourself doesn't mean you can't get your teeth cleaned. Okay, you work for yourself. Do you have dental? Sometimes I'm very transparent and I get directly into where it hits. And a lot of people, realtors, people who again are self-employed, they don't have dental. And we have group dental, and it's very, very affordable, but they don't know that. They just don't know. So it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in as to, you know, how basic or how transparent I'll make that pitch.
All right, awesome. And people usually decide very quickly whether or not they want to continue the conversation or the relationship. So your 30-second commercial should be quick and clear and concise so that people can decide, is this someone that I want to go further with? And we're not wasting each other's time. So we have Van on the call now, and he would like to share his commercial.
How's everybody doing today?
Good, thank you.
Hey, we're
Okay.
good, man.
Great, great. I'm Van Allen, and I am the president and owner of Van Allen Productions, where we produce quality video. And today I would like to connect with business owners that would like to learn more about using audio and video to enhance their business as well as their bottom line. And in addition to that, we also offer video for your personal needs, for your loving memories.
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else want to share? I don't see any other hands. Don't be shy. Come on the call. Let us meet you and see who you are. You can type your contact information in the chat room, and you can also type that in the Q&A, and I will review that. We have Jay Amos from Phoenix, Arizona, and he's left his phone number, and he's saying that he would love to network with everyone. Jay, do you want to come on the call and let us see you? Also, I want to give a few tips for how to have a great Zoom experience, or not just Zoom, but video conference calls, because let me just bring up my screen here. Preparing for a video conference call, because we've seen all kinds of things. This is new to a lot of people. I'm going to admit it's new to me. I did my first Zoom call last month, and the first one was stressful, but I think I'm used to it now. So number one, you want to test your video and audio equipment before the call. If at all possible, have your video on. Let people see you, see your facial expressions, interact with you, and have it turned on. However, if you can't do that, at least make sure that you have a picture, a professional picture up. And I'm not sure if a lot of people are even aware of this, but I just want to show people that you can do this. If you click stop share or stop video, your picture will pop up if you have uploaded one into the system. And at least people can see you. So next we have wear business or a business casual attire. I've heard lots of stories about people coming on Zoom in their pajamas. We were just talking about that before the call. But you want to project a professional image just like you would if you were meeting in person. Next, we have use a nice backdrop. Don't have your camera come on and then your kids are running around, animals, because people are judging you based on every interaction that they have with you. And because they don't know you, it may weigh negatively if you're perceived as unprofessional. And then finally, treat your Zoom meeting the way you would any other business meeting. Do you guys have anything to add to tips to make your video conferencing the best experience that it can be? Yes, Michelle.
Well, I would just mention that when you have a new piece of electronic equipment like a Zoom, and you don't know really how to use it, it's good to practice with someone else. Like ask a friend, can you please just, go online with me and just let me find where all the little buttons are and show the screen or whatever you need to do. So that's one tip. But another thing, I was talking to a client the other day, and I was doing a Zoom meeting, but I hadn't gotten dressed yet. I hadn't showered. I had to quickly get on the meeting. And the client said, well, how come you're not showing your screen? And I said, I don't have my makeup on. He says, I don't either. So anyway, it's kind of cute. But I should have shared at least the picture with him, and I think I didn't. So anyways, it's just a little tip there. We should definitely show either the picture of us, or we should show our face, live.
Okay, awesome. Colette.
What I do, I make sure that the lighting is good for the Zoom meeting, because I have been on meetings where the person seems like they're in a shadow, and that's so distracting. Whenever there's a lot of distracting things going on, that gets my attention more than the meeting. If someone is moving around too much, or they're doing too much, or somebody's family is walking by and they're trying to see what's going on in the meeting, or especially if the lighting isn't good. So I make sure that I have good lighting and make sure that I am a meeting prepared, or just as Michelle said, I will just have a picture up and just keep it off if I'm not prepared, with lighting and good sound too. I have a good microphone to make sure that you can hear me, and be attentive to everyone that's speaking as well. If you're on a meeting and you want someone to listen to you, so you want to make sure that you're listening to them and paying attention to what they're saying and what's going on in the meeting. Back to you, Dr. Allen.
All right, wonderful. So Derek Walker has come on, and he would like to introduce himself. Hi, Derek.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. I've been really enjoyed your panel and your discussion today. It's been very informative. I work for United Credit, and basically we work with clients who have challenged credit that want to be homeowners. So we allow them to restore their credit and realize their dream of being homeowners.
All right, that's a great 30-second commercial. And I just want to say that when you are creating your ask, this is huge, because you want to let people know what your goal is so that they can better help you. And then you want to be able to make it as concise as possible, down to one sentence, because again, they may not have a lot of time. It's an opportunity for them to qualify you and for you to qualify them. Now, Van, you mentioned to me some techniques in the chat room that you wanted me to share. Why don't you go ahead and share those? And by the way, Van created a networking CD, and on the CD, it was awesome. He talked about what to do before, during, and after a networking event. So can you just share maybe your best tip or best couple of tips with the audience?
Well, thanks for asking, Zalanya. One of the things that I wanted to share, and this is very important, is that, well, let me give you a quick story. Many years ago, I was hosting an event, and there was like maybe 100, 150 people at this event. And when I got up on the stage during the announcements, the person that was actually putting the event on asked me to stretch. In show business, that means ad lib. So I said, stretch, Van, I need more time. The next presenter isn't ready. So what I did was I asked the audience, I said, okay, I knew there was a lot of entrepreneurs in the audience because it was a business expo. I said, does anybody want to come up and announce their business? And I kid you not, I must have stood there for a minute or two, and I had them make the announcement 2 or 3 times. The reason I tell that story is because, and I thought about it because of this particular Zoom meeting today. When you're getting an opportunity where you can talk about your business among other entrepreneurs, just like this young man down here, Derek, Now, what Derek did was powerful because his business actually relates to what Colette does. She does real estate, and he helps people to clean up their credit. So my point is that in order to truly be effective, I don't care how afraid you are or scared of public speaking. When you get an opportunity to talk about your business, you have to find a way to push through that and get up there and actually, connect with that audience, because there could be one person in that audience like Colette that could take you to the next level. And if you're too afraid to take advantage of the opportunity, then you can lose out. So many people should, be trying to take advantage of this particular opportunity if you have the capacity to get on here, because somebody on this panel could help take your business to the next level.
Absolutely. And consider hiring a coach. Work one-on-one with someone. I coach entrepreneurs. I'm a psychologist. I am a psychology professor. I teach online, and I coach entrepreneurs in mindset. So if you feel like you need to build up your confidence, that's something that we can work on. One of the things I specialize in is teaching entrepreneurs how to pitch their businesses. And when I have participated in pitch competitions, we always win first or second place. And I've literally taken people who were afraid, terrified of public speaking, to become award-winning speakers in a matter of weeks. And really, it's just about learning a few skills that you can implement effectively, and it will just turn things around for you in a very short period of time. So we have Patrick Becker on the call, and he would like to do his 30-second commercial. Welcome, Patrick. I can't hear you.
Oh.
I'm showing that you're unmuted. I can hear
Better?
you. Yes. Oh, we just lost you again.
All right, how's that?
I can hear you now.
All right, let's talk quick then, I guess.
Okay.
My name is Patrick Becker. I am the CEO of Thriving with Patrick. It's a health and wellness practice affiliated with Johns Hopkins University. And that last thing you just said is very apropos for me, because I work a lot with people on mindset as well. Help people create optimal physical health, optimal emotional health, and optimal financial and time freedom in their lives. So we do that working with a proven system that's been used for over 40 years. And I just look for people that want to help themselves and help others. And, and it's really all, again, going back to what you just said, it's all relationship based. We deal one-on-one with clients. We don't deal with a meeting setting or hello support or all that. Everything's one-on-one. It's all focused on helping the person become the dominant force in their own life.
Awesome. And where are you from?
I live in Phoenix, outside of Phoenix.
Okay, wonderful. Jerry is in Phoenix a lot.
Yeah, my son lives in Phoenix, and we go down there once or twice a year. So maybe I'll look you up next time I'm down there.
Yeah, I've been here for 27 years. I'll never go back east. Can't live in that snow and winter anymore. Can't do that.
You sound like my son, but I think my son would like to come back, but he's got roots so deep down there, I don't think it'll ever happen.
Yeah, understood.
Okay, if you would like to share your commercial, go ahead and put that under the chat room or raise your hand. We're running out of time. One last question I have for you guys is follow-up. If you go to a meeting, whether it's virtually or in person, and you meet someone that you would really like to connect with, what is your advice for the best way to follow up with them?
I think it depends on the energy that was developed in the initial meeting. Some people, when you meet them at a networking event, you kind of just connect. You kind of develop some synergy, and you may even make arrangements at that point for how to follow up. If not, then it's kind of just a typical thing. For me, you do the typical things that, there's email, there's text, there's LinkedIn, there's Facebook, there's all those sources that you got to kind of hit. But at a networking, like if you, a typical networking event, some people it's just, okay, he got a card, I got a card, and it was really not that warm. But then sometimes it's a very warm meeting, and you kind of maybe even work all that out right there, how and when we're gonna reconnect.
Okay, Colette, I think I saw your hand.
Yeah, well, it was pretty much kind of like what Don was talking about, like as far as connecting, just the energy is definitely 100% the energy as far as if you're going to follow up with that particular person. But you can follow up with a person one-on-one that may, you know, like as far as like what we're doing right now, like with the Zoom meetings or whatever, or by telephone call to see if there's some way that you can help each other. Because when you're going to a face-to-face meeting, that's not the time in order to tell everything about what you're doing, or as far as a connection either, because then you're looking all over the place trying to see who else you can connect with. So it's best to connect outside the meeting.
Okay, absolutely. We have a question here from one of our attendees. Strategies to stay focused, prioritize on green activities. Best way for entrepreneurs to organize their day. I find myself getting distracted easily. Would anybody like to share with Mr. Amos how he can stay focused and prevent himself from getting so distracted? I know as entrepreneurs, we have a lot to do. We have to wear many hats, so it's easy to get distracted. Don, you look like you have an answer.
You know, that's $1 million question. It really is. And I think everybody has their own strategy, what works for you. I have a list that, you know, I prepared, you know, basically the week ahead, and each morning I review that list, and my list is prioritized by color and alphabetical, and what has to get done, what I'd like to get done. And I try not to quit until that list is complete, you know, but I work for myself, and, you know, my boss is just, you know, has issues. And sometimes I get distracted, I come back, especially this working at home thing. It's just so easy to get distracted, and you're pulled in so many different directions, but I come back to my list. I get phone calls that are, you know, I want to help, but this is not on my list. I got to push it off. It's difficult. It just is. And I think it's just a discipline, like getting in shape or anything else you want to do. You have to focus and really strive to stay on task. You know, I don't have a magic answer. I really don't.
One of the things that I do is I make a to-do list, and I do it every morning, and I prioritize it. Just what has to be done today, what has to be done by tomorrow or the next day. So I would suggest make a to-do list and prioritize it by writing a number next to each thing that you need to do. We have Olivia DeMoss. Olivia, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So Olivia would like to share her 30-second commercial. Welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Where are you from?
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I heard somebody else is from Arizona. Is that Patrick?
That is Patrick, and Jerry visits a lot because his son is there.
Super. Well, you know what? I am the leader of a networking chapter in Phoenix, and of course we are virtual. So Patrick and whomever, actually anybody could join because we are virtual. So if you're interested, perhaps I could put the link in the chat room. Though the chat room I tried earlier, it wasn't working for me, and actually I just got kicked out of Zoom and logged back in. So anyway, I'm glad to be here with you all. So here's my 30-second commercial. And when people ask me what I do, actually, I like to say I'm in the business of happiness. So conscious business leaders hire me to increase profit and personal fulfillment through nature-inspired consulting and retreats.
Awesome. So when you're doing your commercial, you want to state the benefit, like what is the benefit of doing business with you? And so you did that well. Yes, Colette, I see your hand.
Yes. Well, what I wanted to say earlier when we were talking, I wanted to say, make sure that when you are prioritizing your business, don't get zoomed out. We're talking about virtual networking, and we can virtual network all day long, but you can get so tired because it is tiring being on virtual meetings. So just make sure that you prioritize and know what you want to do. Don't be forced to do anything because you will get so tired, you'll get zoomed out, and then all of a sudden your business, you don't want it to go down, you want it to be vibrant. So just make sure that you don't get zoomed out. I just wanted to add that.
Okay, awesome. So I want to start to wrap up. Also for our attendees, I will provide contact information for our speakers at the end of the call. But can we just go in order and get each of you guys to provide final words? I'll start. First of all, I want to say again, I think networking is huge. I think it's a great way to stay informed and to get new business and to get referrals. Again, we just got a big corporate sponsorship from a contact that I met networking. So if you're not comfortable with it, my second takeaway would be get coaching. There are a lot of coaches out there. I'm a coach. I know at NEA we have several coaches. Jerry's a coach, and we're willing to meet with you your first time at no charge, and you can get a lot of valuable information. So let's go to Jerry. What's your key takeaways from today?
Well, a couple quick things. My company is doing free mentoring for anybody that would like to talk to a mastermind group of people who might be able to help with more information than any one person could give. And for Olivia, I have a person in my group that she has a website, and what she is focused on is helping people find joy in their life. And I think she'd love to talk to you.
Wonderful. I'd love to talk to anybody. Please send them my way or share my email address with them. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'll do that.
Don.
I'd just like to say again, thanks for having me. It was great to talk to adults and people outside of my small space. So it was good to share with everyone. And again, if you're an entrepreneur, if you own your own business and you don't have quality group employee benefits, if you can't get your teeth cleaned, if you don't have a 401k or a quality retirement plan, you're doing yourself a disservice, because these benefits are out here. Companies have decided that they do want to play in the 1099 workspace, and they develop products and processes that are really to your advantage. So, you don't have to work till you're 70 now as an entrepreneur. You have all your wealth tied up in your business anymore. There's some great tools and products out there, just like there are for our friends who are still in that W-2 workspace and afraid to come out here and do what we do.
Awesome. Thank you, Don. Colette.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Dr. Allen. And what I wanted to say is, many hands make light work. That's a quote by John Henley. And with that, entrepreneurs don't have to know it all. You can always reach out to your network and ask a question. I can reach out to Dr. Allen and we can brainstorm about something about real estate. Even though she's a psychologist, she's not in real estate, but we can brainstorm. I can reach out to Van Allen, to Jerry, to Michelle, to anyone. And so it's all who is within your network. Make sure that you have a great network, and then many light work. That's what I wanted to say. And thank you all for participating with us.
That's great advice. Michelle.
Yeah, Don touched on this earlier, but follow-up, I think, is so key. And if you're not going to follow up, it's almost like you don't really even need to make your contact in the first place, because it needs to continue on, you know what I mean? So, and I'm not affiliated with this software group, but I use a software called Nutshell. They're out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. And it allows me to keep all kinds of details, because my memory isn't so great. And so it allows me to keep all kinds of conversations and all kinds of notes in all the emails, everything's kind of concise for every person that I meet. And so I use that to keep on top of that. It helps. So that's it. Thank you very much for letting me be on this panel. I really enjoyed it. You know?
Thank you for being here. And for our guests, Van, what was your key takeaway?
Oh, I just wanted to say, and anybody that was on the call at the beginning would get this, but wanted to say, Don, this was a good touch, a good touch.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I appreciate it.
All right, Patrick.
We'll have a mic. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, just again, it was a very very thoughtful and very engaging event. I enjoyed it. Looking forward to following up with some of the folks. I've got the contact info out of the chat window. So thank you.
Okay, Derek.
Very informative conversation today. I appreciate the invite. Thank Don for inviting me and look forward to being a part of it in the future.
Wonderful. And Olivia.
Well, thank you, everyone. I missed most of the meeting, but one thing that I think is really precious is the reminder to follow up, because that's where I fall short sometimes. And I think that most of us entrepreneurs also fall short on following up, because of course, doing business is all about relationships, but you have to build a relationship first and then commerce follows.
Absolutely. So in closing, I want to share our next event is next Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And we will have Paul Jones, who is a fascinating individual. He's the executive director of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program here in Michigan. But he also started a company that he built to over $20 million and 100 employees from scratch. So we're looking forward to hearing from him about how to stay motivated and maintain a positive attitude during difficult times. And we certainly can use that advice now. I want to encourage everyone to visit our website. You can apply for a membership with NEA. The application is right there on our website. I want to thank you for attending. This session was recorded, so you will be able to go back and view it on our YouTube channel. Here is the contact information for all of our guests today. Feel free to follow up and network with them. And thank you all for joining me. Thank you to the panel. You guys were wonderful, and this was fun. Have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you.